So welcome to our What's New in CBTF, our kickoff for the 2025 season. It's great to see everybody join us this evening, and I hope your seasons are off to a good start. So just, of course, a couple of housekeeping things. Please keep your microphone muted. We will have question and answers at the end. And you can unmute at that time if you rather would talk than type. And just use your raise the hand feature during the question and answers if you have something that you'd like to say on the mic. If it's your preference, you can type into the chat and Jeff's going to monitor that for me. And we are, of course, recording this and we'll post it for viewing at a later time for those that couldn't attend live. So I'd like to introduce our president, Joanne, to bring our welcome.
Thanks, Dana. I just want to welcome everybody to our 2025 What's New webinar. You'll see from the slides that are going to be presented tonight and the information that we're putting out that we have put a lot of work into this year, and we want you to take away as much information as you can from our What's New webinar. So on behalf of the CBTF board, welcome to everyone, and let's get ready for another great year. I'll turn it back over to you, Dana.
Thanks, Joanne. So for this evening, I'm going to do introductions. Then we'll dive into a few updates on our national competitions and touch on the international competition that's coming up. And then we'll talk about all of the programs that we have going on, our athlete coaching, adjudicators, and judging program. And then we have some administrative information at the end. And then, of course, our question and answer. So I'd like to introduce our technical committee. My name's Dana Pedaleski. I'm your CBTF technical chair. Our past technical chair is Jeff Johnson. Our CBTF coaches rep and WBTF technical advisor is Maureen Johnson. Our CBTF judges rep is Kim Jenton. Our WBTF judges rep is Jenna Jemayev. We don't yet have an athlete rep, but that is upcoming in the next week or two, I believe. Our group rep is Leisha Strong, our SDP rep, Sarah Mujo, and our sanction officer, Sue Mepham. And our provincial technical reps, in BC, we have Kelda Paluk. In Alberta, Jenna Jemayev. Saskatchewan is Sarah Mujo. Manitoba is Megan Stanger. Ontario is Andrea James. Quebec is vacant at this time. New Brunswick is Brenda Arsenault LeBlanc. And Nova Scotia is Joanne Manson. So I just would like to thank our entire technical committee who put in a lot of work in our fall conference over the weekend near the beginning of September, and for all the work that they do throughout the season at the national level and within their provinces. Our CBTF Education Committee is made up of myself, Kim Jenton, Maureen Johnson, Jenna Jemayev, Jeff Johnson, Andrea James, and Joanne sits on our committee as well as an ex officio. And I just wanted to dive in a little bit to the type and purpose of the Education Committee, because I think sometimes it gets a little bit confused out there as to what our powers are. So it's an advisory committee to the executive, the board of directors, and the technical committee. And purpose is all surrounding education, of course. So to develop and provide educational programs, to develop and enhance those programs for our courses, the course conductors, our coaches, judges, adjudicators, and our athletes, to oversee the delivery of our courses, to establish standards and develop the tools to support our judging and adjudicators, and to assist the executive and the board of directors in matters pertaining to governance, education, and ethics. So that's the role of the Education Committee. So now we will jump into our national and international competitions. And the first one that we'll have a little bit of an update on is the one that's coming up first is it's got a long name, I've got the wrong year on there. It's 2025. Nations Cup and World Technical Baton Twirling Championship qualifier, and we'll just refer to it as the qualifier because that's a mouthful. So it's set to take place in Calgary February 21st to 24th, 2025. I've got the right date there. And this competition will be the first one that we're hosting jointly in as CBTF and CNBTA. We Canada will select one contingent to represent Canada in Torino in August of 2025. So for those of you that were at Pan Pacific, you'll be familiar with the facility. It's at the Seven Chiefs Sportsplex and Chief Jim Starlight Center. Sorry, that's a mouthful. It's a beautiful facility, and if you weren't there for Pan Pacific, you'll be very happy with the facility once you do arrive. The preliminary schedule, and of course this is subject to change, but we are looking at Friday, February 21st being a practice day and opening ceremony. And then we're looking into the possibility of hosting an open competition. It would be restricted to the non-qualifier athletes, more like the season BNs. Or if it doesn't work for that to happen on the Friday evening, we may start the preliminary rounds of our teams or our groups. But I'll let you know once we get the information about a potential open competition solidified. Then on Saturday, we will have our preliminary rounds. And then either the open competition, if we are able, or the final round of teams and groups. So that's the part that's up in the air right now. And then Sunday would be the final rounds and the awards, followed by Monday being our Pride of Canada contingent meeting. And we are going to be holding that at the hotel rather than at the gym to save some funds. It will be a state of play, and the Carriage House Hotel and Conference Center is going to be our stay to play hotel. Alberta is working hard right now on getting the details and reservation information and the link and everything set up. So that's going to be included in the entry brochure. There's no need to attempt to book anything right now. There will be plenty of availability for our attendees. So some important dates surrounding the qualifier. December 6th is when the entry brochure and the job form links will go out. And then January 6th is going to be the entry deadline and the payment deadline, as well as the music upload deadline. And all that information will be in the brochure. January 12th is when we'll have the pay practice schedule drafted for you. And then the week of February 3rd is when the information package about the competition details and everything like that will be sent out. And there's going to be the medical certificate deadline that is required by IBTF. I just don't have that date for you yet, but if you are an athlete that's going to be entering the qualifier, I would suggest now making those appointments to get your medical certificate completed, and that certificate itself will be in the entry brochure as well. If anybody needs it earlier than that, I'll try and get that out early, and we can maybe post that on the website so that if you do happen to have an appointment in before December 6th, then you'll have that form. And then just some IBTF updates with respect to our qualifier. So you may have seen just this week or in the last couple of days, there's new music for IBTF 2 baton and 3 baton. So that will be used at our qualifier. The extra music track has been shortened for use in 2025. So again, make sure you're using the correct one that will be used at our qualifier. Solo, artistic, twirl, pair, duet, and twirl team remain the same as in 2023 Liverpool. If you need to double check on those tracks, just go to the IBTF website, and they have a page where you can download those music tracks. They do have a note on there as well that the quality of the two new, or at least one of the new pieces, needs to be improved for use in the big sound systems in the gym. But the one that's there is entirely okay for you to use on your little speaker when you're in the practice gym preparing. So, And I always want to say, please remember to always visit the IBTF website for their rule book. Currently, we're on version 9 for this competition, and it's dated in September 2024. So hopefully that's it, but it's always important to stay on top of things. And if I happen to notice a change, I'll let you know, or if you happen to notice a change, let me know as well. So that's what I've got for the qualifier. If there's any questions regarding that, you can type them in the chat and we'll visit that. But now we will move on to talk a little bit about our 2025 Canadian Winter Championship that we're going to host in Moncton, New Brunswick. So you're all familiar if you've been to the last Canadians that was held in Moncton. We were at the Avenir Center and we will be returning there to that beautiful facility. And our tentative schedule, again, subject to change, but we are looking at Tuesday, July 1st through to Saturday, July 5th. We are going to try and get this into a 5-day competition once again this year, because as you can imagine, the Avenir is quite expensive as well. So July 1st will be our practice day, opening ceremony, and compulsories. July 2nd will be our individual duet prelims with the open competition running alongside that. July 3rd would be our finals and grand nationals for our individual and duet events. July 4th would be our group and prelims for freestyle and pair. July 5th, we always throw the group on there just in case we need to do some scheduling. So groups could be July 4th or 5th, like most likely July 4th. And then the finals for freestyle and pair, as well as our Pride of Canada clinic that afternoon. And then we haven't slotted in the parties yet, but the goal is to have those parties at the end as well. Athlete party and hopefully some sort of a technical party. So that's the schedule for Canadians. The entry brochure for that, we're targeting mid-March. And then the JotForm entry link would be available early April, and we'll have a deadline of early May for those entries. Moncton is also working, New Brunswick is also working very hard on the state of play hotels and getting the best deals that we can with some rebates, we hope. So again, we'll include those into the entry brochure, and there'll be plenty of rooms for everybody to select from. And with that, we will move on to the international competitions. So I am going to let Joanne talk to us about Torino, Italy.
Thanks, Dana. So the information that we have just coming out is, of course, confirming the dates of August 1st to 10th, 2025 in Torino, Italy. Some of the things that we've got up on the screen here are very important that you check your passport expiry date now. You need to make sure that you have that passport with at least 6 months of validity for your international travel, that you don't get held up at passport control and you can't enter the country and compete. So look at your passports now. The other thing, and I don't know what the acronym is actually how it's going to be pronounced, but the ETIAS, I don't know how they say it, ETIAS. We had heard rumblings of this before, and we were worried about it before. It now says the information that we have is that, yes, for sure, starting in 2025, Canadians will need to register online before traveling to Europe. So it's not a visa, but it's a registration. Canadians have to do it. We are visa exempt non-EU visitors, and so you will need to follow the instructions. Dana's got them on the screen there. I imagine that we'll incorporate that link as well into our entry brochure, but I've never done it myself. This is new, so I really couldn't answer very many questions about it right now. But if it was similar to what we had to do when we went to Australia, it was just really easy filling in a form online. So hopefully it's the same. And then we've been given a tentative schedule So we're going to, once we have our, a little bit more time to put our planning people together for the actual contingent and its needs, um, you can anticipate that we'll be giving you a day to arrive. And that actually might even be, we might even already have had those discussions. It could be in the notes here. But in any event, they've given us August 1st as the opening ceremony day. And then you'll see they're changing up the schedule a bit. Instead of having Nations Cup and then a chunk of majorettes and then the World Championship, the Nations Cup and majorettes right now are being blended together, segueing into the Nation Cup disciplines and then following up with the World Championship disciplines. And then at the end, a closing ceremony. And just because Dana made the slides for me, I'll say it now, and I apologize if it comes up later. There will only be one opening ceremony and one closing ceremony. So there's not going to be something to close off and restart partway through. So in terms of planning, if you are a Nations Cup athlete, you are looking at the screen, seeing what is going to be arranged by CBTF and what is going to be arranged by the athlete and coach. So essentially, athlete and coach, you are arranging your own flights and airport transfers. And then you with your coach are looking at the practice time that you are going to be attending. In terms of what CBTF does, we will put in place our recommended arrival dates. We are going to be securing the hotel. We have to do that through their stay to play. We will be arranging any transportation to practice and competition facilities, any meals that might need to be booked. Due to the size of the contingent, it would be in terms of first aid or what a team manager or managers could provide. You could expect emergency or urgent first aid, but certainly it will not be very intense or high level training. We don't offer any kind of therapy. And then we would organize the practice times. For the athletes who are participating in the World Championship, again, same thing. They're looking at arranging their own flights and airport transfers. CBTF will determine the arrival dates. Again, we book the hotels, transportation to and from the gym, meals, team meals as we might need. And if the contingent is able to, like in terms of size, if the team manager is able to manage anything more specific, if the team manager is qualified to do so in terms of treatment, that might be possible, but that's not always the case. And then again, we will arrange the practice times. I haven't seen any information come out about the hotels yet, but I heard indirectly that the hotel that we stayed at last time might be one of them, the Legato Congress, which if it is, I would love to book in there because it was a great facility. So the arena, though, is going to be different than the one that we had before. So I'm still waiting for information. Then we have the IBTF judge selection process. Some information just came out and was circulated within yesterday and today from IBTF that if you are wanting to be considered for selection by the country to judge in 2025 in Turin, you have to review all prior IBTF seminar and practicum recordings by February 1, 2025. So all of the things that were held from December of 2020 through to December 2022, you can see up on the screen there, all of the different disciplines. They will have you watch those, and then there will be testing at a later date. But very important for any of our judges who want to be considered for selection, that this is an IBTF requirement. You have to have done this. You also need to make sure that you have your Twirl Ed account to get your course enrollment. And for that, we've got the email at the bottom of the screen, education, just a minute, my chat's blocking it, education@ibtf-baton-twirling.org. So if you haven't got your Twirl Ed account, get that set up and get watching all of those recordings if you haven't already done so.
Great. Thanks, Joanne. Okay, so we are ready to move on to our athlete programs now. So we will first talk about our skills development program, and just I like to always tie this back to our long-term development. And our skills development program covers everything from active start all the way through fundamentals, learn to train, train to train, and learn to compete. So with that, I'd like to introduce our SDP rep, Sarah Mougeot, with, so she'll provide us a little update.
Hey everyone. The good news is there's not a lot to update. I know there have been a lot of changes in the last several years. So our refreshed SDP has been running for almost 3 years now, and our app seems to be going smoothly. I haven't heard any feedback recently about any issues. Of course, please send me any questions or concerns, and I can pass that on to our development team. All of the content is available only on the app now, and I understand it was a tough transition to get rid of all of our paper manuals, but I'm very happy to report that it seems that it's going fairly smoothly. Just a reminder that we now have the offline download feature. We've had it for a little while. So if you are in a position where you don't have Wi-Fi access at your gyms, which is pretty common, you can use the offline download to download what you need to download. And you don't need to use your data or anything to watch the videos or read any of the content. And lastly, we're looking, there was a report that came out about the compulsories and short program as a part of our discussions around the IBTF changes. And so there is a question about a specialty badge potentially for the BA short program. That is very preliminary right now, and I have no further information on that regards to whether it will or will not be happening, but it'll be part of discussions going further.
Great. Thank you so much, Sarah. Okay, moving ahead to the next level, which is our pre-competitive programs, and that touches into our long-term development in the fundamentals stage. So just a reminder for coaches, always review those written descriptions and watch the demo videos so that you're always providing your athletes with the correct routine choreography. So if you go on the website, you'll be able to access the pre-competitive program handbook, and that's our written description. Detailed everything in writing. And if you want to watch the videos, go on to the CBTF YouTube account and click on the playlist option, and then you'll get a playlist of all of the video demonstrations for you to watch those. And then also a reminder, back into the 22-23 season, we updated the group standard routines. And so group 1 is twirl team and group 2 is dance twirl team, and you have those 3 music selections to choose from. So nothing new there. I just wanted to do a little reminder, and I will be talking about this later on, but if you do have any pre-competitive groups, we would really appreciate videos of them. We've just finished our first iteration of a judging course, and we just didn't have enough videos of the groups. So it would be wonderful if you can send us those. In terms of, it can be in your practice session or competition. We'll take anything. Okay, our graded system that falls into our learn to train and train to train categories of the long-term development. Just a reminder, once again, if you need graded medals in your province, the deadline is December 1st, and there's a direct form on the CBTF website to place that order. So this slide is more targeted towards our technical chairs and or our provincial reps who would be doing the ordering for your province. So you can find that order form in the quick links on the right-hand side of the homepage of the website. And then it's just a nice form that pops up where you can place your order. This one is directed towards our competition directors when you're preparing your set systems. So just a friendly reminder that our graded events are the level C and level B ends in primary and juvenile for our individual and duet divisions, and our level C primary and juvenile group divisions. Those are all meant to be single judged. So when you're putting together that set system, make sure you're only assigning one judge to those divisions. And then moving ahead into our competitive programs, that covers learn to train, train to train, learn to compete, and train to win. We have a new update here that was just recently passed at the fall conference. So our minimum age has now changed. It used to be 7 years of age for competitive, and it's now 6 years of age as of December 31st, which now makes our primary age division 6 to 8 for those individual disciplines, 12 to 16 for the duet discipline, and 6 to 8.999 for group when it's the average age, if primary is offered, and if there's no primary division, the juvenile age division covers that from 6 to 11.9. And then just a reminder that our pre-competitive age remains at 4 years and up. This is a reminder that I give every year. We've got a little further clarification on it this year, but so coaches, please note, and then judges, please note, athletes are supposed to complete their routines before the beep if they are in level C, BN, or BI. Our extended music is only to be used by the level BA and A athletes. So judges will not assess penalties nor give credit to material presented after the beep for those level C, BN, and BI athletes. And to further clarify that, judges will not assess penalties or give credit for material presented after the music ends for any level of competition. So the judging will discontinue at the conclusion of the music. Any aerial or skill initiated prior to the conclusion of the music or the beep would be included for both credit and penalty. So if the coaches can please, make sure that your routines are fitting within the time limits and educating your athletes that the judge is not going to watch them after the beep, it would help with the judges feel less guilty by putting their heads down and not watching them as they continue to twirl after the beep. So if we can all work together on this one, I think it'll work out. Some detail on what an open competition is versus a winter championship. So our open competitions are where you would offer all levels. And of course, this is the only place that you can offer a C or a BN discipline. A provincial winter event is for level BI and level BA only. And the title that they receive there is a winner. And provincial championship events are only for our level A's. And of course, the title that they receive is champion. Moving on to music timing, since it's the time of year when you will be editing your group and team and freestyle and pair music. So just make sure you're using the correct timelines. And we do have a page on the website that will give you a summary of all of the time limits so that you can get your music edited correctly. Freestyle and pair age divisions. So for level BI and level BA, we use the CBTF age rule. And so that's as of December 31st, 2024 for the next season. We have juvenile, junior, senior, and collegiate. And then for level A, we'll use the IBTF age determination rule, and that's as of December 31st, 2025. And there's junior and senior. Now, with all the changes that have been happening with short program and everything like that at the WBTF, IBTF level, at our fall conference, we had discussions about how we would implement this. We want it to be used as a training year, of course, for our level A freestyle athletes that are looking to head to the trials in 2026. But we also are not fully, we don't have full access to any of the tabulation programs from IBTF at this point. So we had to figure out a way that we could keep both sides happy and make sure we could still run these competitions. So for level A freestyle at CBTF competitions, there's no short program, of course. But yes, we do require a fiche be submitted. So if you have a level A freestyle athlete this year, you, the coach, are going to be required to submit the fiche. This is going to be a good practice for you and the athlete in working with the fiche this year. And we also will use the fiche to do seeding because we used to seed off of the short program. We will have a little paper that will outline how you will do that at an open competition. I just don't have that ready yet. The scoring, we will maintain the technical merit artistic expression system with our judges scoring out of 10 because we need to still have a tabulation program that we can use to tabulate the results. So this will allow us to do that. And then simultaneously, we're going to run a pilot program that we can test the new system for our judges and our coaches and our athletes and support them as we navigate through the new judging system. So stay tuned for that. We'll have a package as well, or ideas of how we will be able to run this pilot for you. So I know there's a lot going on with Level A Freestyle right now, but hopefully we can navigate this together. So then still sticking with freestyle here, Level BI compulsory moves. We've done the draw already, so you know what we will be doing at the 2025 Canadians. It's set B. So if you are running open competitions and you choose just to use one set, you'll probably want to use set B and get those athletes ready for nationals that way. And this is a nice little time to also remind you that if you're doing BI freestyle and compulsories, you have to have your gold pin, and it applies to all competitions, open all the way through to Canadians. And with all those changes at the Level A freestyle, we are maintaining everything status quo for our Level BI and Level BA freestyle. So that still means that you'll still get the 25% compulsory move score and the 75% freestyle score. And the advancement score is 35 to move from BI to BA, and the qualification score to get into nationals is a 25. And for BA, same thing. The advancement score is still 45 and the qualification score is 35. So no changes to Level BI or BA freestyle. Now, in terms of Level A freestyle, how are we going to qualify? Because if we don't have any baselines on the new judging system and we're eliminating short program scores, we have decided that for the Canadians in 25 and in 26, we will not require a qualification score, simply because we just don't have any baselines to determine that. The Canadian team trials, so that would be 2026, will be an open entry, but you must have achieved Level A status by moving through the system. And we're doing that because when we're holding the trials earlier in the year, we just cannot ask provinces to host a team trials in enough time that early in the year to get people qualified to attend a national trials in February or March. And it's just way too early to ask you to hold your combined provincials at that time too. So as we did with 2024, we will do open entry into Canadian team trials. Qualifying scores for groups. Now this was an agenda item and it got tabled because we will be looking at groups and doing a deep dive into groups in the future. So in case anybody's wondering, the current rules regarding qualifying scores for groups remain in place. There's been no changes made there. So as you know them, they are still in place. The elite training for international competitions, we have a subcommittee that reports to the education committee, and they have been working on this, and we are looking at a formal national program to support training, and we expect a proposal at the 2025 winter technical meeting. Also on the agenda from the fall conference was challenging advancement scores. So a subcommittee will explore the possibility of a review panel to investigate allegations of inappropriate scoring, but For now, as it currently stands, judges' decisions are final and coaches cannot challenge judges' scores. Extrat, we will continue with this as a minor discipline for 2024-25 season. And just a reminder, minor disciplines are offered at open competitions only. And we are going with the flow. Every year we are adapting this event so that it's in line with the athletes that would be wishing to move on to the international competition. So this season, it's going to be the IBTF age determination. It's going to be the IBTF age divisions, the IBTF levels, and that's only A and elite. So we do not have a level B extra, okay, just A and elite. The content restriction guidelines that you find in the manual are applicable. And we will use an IBTF score sheet, and it's going to be available on the CBTF website in the coming month or so. So you can watch the score sheet CD on the website. It'll say updated when there's changes there, and I'll try and send out a little email as well, just to let you know when that's available. Okay, so that's going to wrap up our athlete programs. Jeff, I don't think I see any questions in the chat just yet. No, okay, we're good. We will move on. Update on the coaching program. So this is just a little plug for anybody. If there's any CBTF members that are age 13 and over, there's some free training available to them in the education portal, so they can get used to using the portal and have a few lessons to go through. So there's a theory course, there's practical content, and there's no NCCP requirements and no formal evaluation. So this is a good little program if you have any athletes in your club that are potentially interested in assisting. So encourage them to take the coach and training program. And a little bit later on, I'll have the instructions on how to get a portal account if needed. Oh, actually, I don't know if I have that in here. If you need a portal account, it's an email, please, to registration@cbtf.ca. And that needs to include your name, your membership number, and your request saying you're emailing because you want an education portal account. Once they finish coach and training 1, we have coach and training part 2 to keep them busy. There's no theory to this one, but again, it's more practical content. So it's working with, their mentor coach at their club, and getting used to being an assistant. And coach and training part 2 has a little more administrative tasks tied to it, and community development. Again, no NCCP, no formal evaluation. So those are just 2 courses to keep those athletes interested and involved and potentially on the pathway to becoming a coach. Our Baton Twirling Foundations course has been up and running for a while. There's 3 parts to achieving your full certification. Of course, step 1 is theory, and this you'll see this trend throughout. Step 1 is always theory. That's self-paced courses within our portal. Step 2 is practical, and that's an in-person class delivered within your province. And then step 3 is evaluation. And we are working right now on putting the evaluation steps into the portal. So it'll be very easy for those that have completed the practical to have access to the next step and the paperwork that they need in order to get ready for their evaluation. And competition 1 as well, the theory, practical, and evaluation. So theory is in the portal, and we are working on the practical course and hope to have that launched soon. And then the evaluation portion. So this is applicable to all of the levels. Once a coach candidate has completed the theory and the practical portions of the certification process, they will, of course, work to get their NCCP certificates and prepare to be evaluated by a master evaluator. So with the education committee right now, We have the application form for master evaluators approved and almost ready to launch. So that's going to go out in November if you're interested in being a master evaluator of coaching participants. The Baton Twirling Foundation participants who have completed the practical, so they're called trained, they'll be enrolled in a course in the portal, and they'll have free access to 3 templates that they're to complete and submit prior to their evaluation. And then once they're ready to be evaluated, they'll enroll in the evaluation course, and that's $50. And they'll be assigned a master evaluator to get their final certification. And you may have noticed CBTF has now posted all of our registered coaches' names and their certification status onto the website. So if so long as you have a technical association membership and a status in our coaching program, you should see your name up there on the website. We will review that annually. So if you don't hold a membership for the coming season, you'll just be removed. It's not taking away your coaching status. It's just we're not going to have you listed if you're not a member. And you can be reinstated once you take out a membership again. And we will add new coaches to the list as they complete their courses, and we verify their status. So hopefully that's helpful for everyone. And then what about those who are returning to coaching after you've taken a break? We will recognize coaching certifications from the past that for those who took a break and now wish to return. So that should be handled through the provincial coaching reps. There's a set of 4 to 5 standard questions that the returning coach is asked to answer so that the education committee can review those responses. And then we have a rubric where we use those responses to assign the coach a status in our new coaching program. So if the provinces have anybody who's interested in coming back, then here's the process that you follow. And we hope that's helpful and encourages coaches to return if they've taken a break. And now we will move into, is there a question there?
Yeah, there is. So we had a question from, this goes back to the IBTF competitions and the extrat. So Tanya Lee's question was, if we are not offering B extrat at open competitions, how are we to build our extrat athletes across the country to compete in the event?
Yeah, so right now we're not offering it as a major event. The only reason we're offering it as a minor event is to allow those athletes that are intending to compete in the qualifier and move on to the international level. So we're focusing just on those ones right now, and not in terms of building extra athletes across the country, if that's helpful. I know it probably isn't what the answer that you were looking for, but right now we're just doing it for the purposes of the athletes that are competing internationally.
And I'll just add for that, from an IBTF perspective, the reason that IBTF dropped the B level in extrat was because they just, while they had A level restrictions and B level restrictions in 2023, after evaluating that competition, they just felt there really was no effective reason to have different restrictions for a B and an A level, that there really is only 2 levels, a world championship level, which is unrestricted, and then the A level, which has a handful of restrictions. So it's not that they removed it as a B because for a developmental reason. They just removed it as a B because they just didn't see any practical difference or reason to have a difference between B and A. It was like forcing a square peg into a round hole, basically.
Thanks, Jeff. That's helpful. Thank you. Okay, now we're ready to talk a little bit more about the adjudicator program. So I'll bring Sarah back to guide us through this.
Hi, everyone. We had a very successful previous season, introducing several new adjudicators to CBTF on their first step to becoming a coach and rebuilding our judging pool, not coaching, my apologies. So the first step to becoming an adjudicator, especially at the A1 level, is to, again, complete your A1 theory in the educational portal. And that is a $20 fee. For this, you need to be a technical association member. good timing coming up right now as memberships are coming in. This can be done at any time. You don't have to wait for a practical course to be announced. So if you're feeling the urge to become an adjudicator, I recommend taking your A1 theory as soon as you're ready. Once you've paid your $20 fee, you get access for life, and you can review it anytime. And then once you've completed your theory, there is a practical portion that is live on Zoom with a course conductor. We are continuing our special $25 introductory pricing because we know it's always good to have a nice deal. You must have completed your A1 theory prior to the start of the course. So if there is a course announced and you want to join it, make sure you get your theory completed. And you must be 18 years of age on the date of the practical course. And you also must be able to attend all 9 hours, which are generally split into 3 sessions, just to make it a little bit more manageable. So we're not sitting for 9 hours straight. And and then you have your A1 exams, which is included in the pricing of the practical portion. These are done in the educational portal, and they're accessible for 1 month following the final session of your practical course. And that date is communicated very clearly to all of the A1 participants when their deadline is. And as a participant, you can choose the time that suits you best to write your exams so that's not immediate crunch time the second you're done your course, because we do recognize that most of the people taking the A1 course are either students or they're recently retired athletes or busy coaching, all those things. So there's a lot of flexibility built into this program. I also have a quick reminder for the submission of SDP results. For a number of years now, we've had it set up that the adjudicators are required to submit all of the SDP adjudication forms. So as you're emailing to your coaches the results of your SDP exams, just CC the provincial rep as well as the national SDP rep email address, which is sdprep@cbtf.ca. And that way I can keep track of all of the results in the database. And this is important because we do keep track of these for eligibility to compete in freestyle. Master summary sheets should be forwarded. And that makes it very easy to just do it in one quick email. These also count toward provincial points. So please make sure that the provinces you are adjudicating for are getting points for doing all of their SDP adjudications. I've had to hunt down adjudicators previously to ensure that the athletes have completed their requirements prior to competing for their gold pin. So this just makes it a lot easier if everyone can follow the same process. And then athletes will also be credited for their achievement, especially with their pins.
Great. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, now we're going to move into an update on the judging program. So Kim and Jenna will be walking us through these slides.
Kim, did you want me to go ahead?
Sure.
It's totally up to you.
Actually, I thought Dana was going to do the D1.
Oh, I can do this part. It's all the boring, here's how the courses are running stuff. And then you guys can do the exciting stuff. So D1 is our Division 1 course, and it covers our pre-competitive disciplines listed up there on screen. And again, there's the steps. This one's 4 steps: theory, online self-paced, practical, those are online with the course conductor, exams that they're writing during the practical course, and then sent out to do practice judging. So Kim and I just finished the very first D1 course 2 nights ago with our first cohort of students. And that one was offered just to those who had recently completed the A1 certification. And then when we run the next one, we will do a broader announcement. Of course, you do need your A1 in order to take the D1, but if there's anybody out there who had old M1 who wants to also update on a D1, we would open it up to them. But we did this first one with just the most recent students who took A1, and I'm happy to say that it was very successful. And pending results, we will have some We will have 8 new D1s practice judging this coming season. So that's very exciting. D2 is our competitive disciplines that we know, and we will throw compulsories in there as well. And again, they'll follow theory, practical exams, and practice judging. That course is almost ready to go, and we'll send out an announcement when we're ready to launch that one. And then D3 will follow, and that's going to be our group disciplines of pom-pom, dance twirl team, and twirl team, following the same 4 steps. Kim and or Jenna, now this is you.
Thank you, Dana, and welcome to everybody this evening. Judges re-entering the judging system. We had a request to the Education Committee last year for one judge in particular who had a lot of experience but had stepped away from judging but was still very active in the sport. In looking at that situation, we put together a program for that judge to re-enter. Since then, we have had 6 or 7 new people that have also been absent, put forth some desire to come back, which is just wonderful to know. However, given that their situations are a bit different, it is now slated for the next Education Committee meeting to see if everyone will be following the same process. So, for example, one judge that has professed an interest hasn't judged for 15 years. Therefore, they would not have taken any of the recent programs whatsoever. And they are not coaching either. So those kind of situations, although we are thrilled to continue to grow our judging pool, we do have to look at those situations a little bit differently. But on a 100% positive note, we are really happy to see the interest of people coming back to judging. The mentorship program, this is something that's brand new for CBTF, and I think it's always exciting when we try something different. This is a program for all judges, regardless of your level. And it's a program just based on support to make sure that if you are a brand new judge, who the program is really geared to, but also if you're an experienced judge and you would like to have someone that you could turn to, we're welcoming everybody. We're very, very proud that the person that's chairing this committee is Natalie Fairs. Natalie has her master's in counseling, and she's going to be working with the mentors on shaping this program and making it a real success. Jenna, do you want to do this one?
Sure. Thank you, Kim. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Kim for all of the work that she's done to put through some new D1 judges, as well as capture some of those judges that are now re-entering the judging system. So that's been a lot of work on Kim and on Dana. And I just think that you guys don't get enough credit for all the work that you've done. And we just really appreciate what you're doing for the sport and for the judges right now. As far as required judging updates, judges will now be asked to update each year via an online meeting, live in person only, no recordings. So this process replaces the update every 4 years by attending approved judges meetings type of method, and is applicable to all certified judges. So in order to be eligible to judge in 2025, judges must attend one of the following update sessions. I believe the Zoom links were sent out, or the registration for the Zoom was sent for those dates. So you have 3 options of attending. So it would be Sunday, November 10th, Sunday, November 17th, or Monday, December 9th. So it would just be one of those 3 that you would need to attend. So Kim wanted to make sure to give everyone multiple dates just to ensure everyone was able to participate in the update. So please,
Okay.
please visit the calendar on the CBTF website to get registered from that.
And Dana, I know this is kind of funny that I'm going to have a question about my own program, but this really goes to Jeff. So Jeff, I had somebody ask me, when will we be updating the website? And I believe the correct answer is that we're going to update when all of them are completed, correct? We won't do that after each one. So for example, on November 10th, whoever registers for November 10th, you're not going to update the website until the December one is completed, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Great, thank you. So this is another little administrative side of things. You've heard me refer to the new judging programs as Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. So that's the terminology we're using to replace module, so that there's no confusion at what level you're certified. So judges that are certified in our module system will be provided access to this corresponding division theory courses free of charge in the education portal. We really want our judges that are continuing to judge to have the latest information and the updates and see the material that the new judges are receiving in their training. Once we flip you over, you're going to get a letter telling you what your new certification is. And once you receive that, you'll have 3 months to go into the theory that you're being provided for free, and go through that online self-paced course to maintain your new division status. If you aren't able to do that within the time frame, you'll be temporarily suspended, and the education committee will work through what you need to do to be reinstated. If you wish to retake a practical portion of a course, you are more than welcome. You can register and pay as a participant in any of those that as they come up. And in the meantime, judges can still accept contracts and judge competitions during the period which they are completing their theory crossover. So the purpose of this is to make sure that you are updated and aware of the training that is being provided to the new judges, at the same time maintaining your new status. The judging networking list, just a friendly reminder that this is used to report all contact with the athletes and coaches for a current season. You submit this with every judge's contract for all competitions, and you can change that and amend and resubmit as your circumstances change. So your circumstances in January may be different than your circumstances come May. So we do need you to report all of those contacts. And this is a reminder to our competition directors that you do ensure that you are receiving that list so that you can make your judging assignments and your set systems accordingly. Group scoring and tabulation. So we use the new group tabulation program at the 2024 Canadians. Thank you to Jeff for his work in developing that. The current practice is for judges to use 1 decimal place for caption scoring in groups. I think that's what you all do anyway. This is now just a reminder that the tabulation program will only accept 1 decimal place. So just continue as you were using 1 decimal. Don't throw 2 decimals at the master sheet because it's not going to be accepted into the tabulation program, and then you'll have your head tabulator coming after you. So 1 decimal place for groups. Kim, did you want to talk about the updated judging uniform? You're on mute.
Sorry, Dana. This year at the Canadian Championships, we had kind of a judges meeting for the judges that were there. And one of the things that the judges, predominantly from the West, raised how cold it was to judge in the winter. So we put this up to the education committee. And this year you can wear a white turtleneck, you can wear black socks, and now a plain black wrap to be worn over the black jacket. So, of course, the word wrap has maybe a different meaning to different people. So we don't want it to be a blanket and look like we're all wrapped up for the winter. Just a black wrap that's a little bit bigger than a scarf that can be put over the back of your jacket. And it must be just black in color. And I'm really hoping that the judges will be happier with this.
Thanks, Kim. We also made an update to the judge's contract. So it now will include links to the descriptions along with a checkbox that acknowledges acceptance. You know, at the bottom of the contract, just before you sign it, it listed that you're going to adhere to all these policies and codes of conducts and the uniform. So those are now going to be clickable links that you can then review the online material just to make sure you know what you're signing. And then you have to check off the tick box. And then we also added to the contract terms of payment and method of payment. So will the competition director be paying you by check or by e-transfer or by cash? So they will indicate that on the contract. And the terms of payment in terms of will it be that same day at the conclusion of the competition? Will it be 7 days later? Will it be 14 days later? So just so that you're aware of the timing of your payment. So we will get, actually, Jeff, you've posted that one already?
No, the judge's contract, no, all of the updates to the score sheet CD are happening at the same time.
Oh,
So that's
same time.
judge's
Sorry.
contract, extract, and some judge's masters.
Masters, yeah. Okay, so watch for all those updates coming in the next month or so. And in the meantime, you may continue to use the existing contract. Role models, the education committee, as a result of some discussions at the fall conference as well, has some work to do in cleaning up the existing role model scripts and videos because they're inconsistent across the different disciplines. So the technical room decided that the scores will use 1 decimal place only. Some of the disciplines have 2 decimal places as a role model, or they have a range as a role model. So we will use 1 decimal place score, and then we will also include the word, like the sub-range that goes along with it. So there's people that prefer to know the score. There's people that prefer to refer to it as a sub-range. So we will have that on all of the disciplines for you. And that wraps up our judging section. So now we'll just move quickly into administrative. So a note to our provincial reps, after your AGM, submit those names and email addresses of the new reps over to secretary@cbtf.ca. Cindy uses those to build the bulk group emails, and that's how you get the information and e-votes. And there's a lot of that going on right now. So we need to make sure that everybody is receiving, the appropriate people are receiving the information and the e-votes in your province. And CBTF, this is also a reminder. If you have a cbtf.ca account, make sure you're diligent in checking those because that's, of course, where the information goes and not to your personal email address. So this is a friendly reminder from Cindy, our secretary, to stay on top of your emails and e-votes. We've had minor revisions to the sanction request form. So that one is posted. And you'll find that in the quick links under the sanction request form. So just a few minor changes. It's PDF fillable. There's also some instructions on the website as to how to use a PDF fillable form. And the main thing is you can't just open it up on your browser and start filling it out and expect to be able to sign it. That's just an Adobe feature that it won't allow you to do. You do have to download that form, save it onto your computer, and then fill it out so that you can sign electronically. So there's some helpful hints and links now posted on that web page as to how to use the PDF fillable form. So hopefully that's helpful for you. AGMs, apparently not all of these are getting sanctioned. So just a shout out to the provincial chairs and the provincial sanction officers to ensure that you are sanctioning your provincial AGM and all meetings for that matter. All of your meetings should be sanctioned. Tabulation training, Cindy continues to offer training on our tabulation systems. So please notify Cindy of your competition tabulators. If they're the same as last year, that's great. If there's any updates, she will let them know. If you have anybody new tabulating your competitions this year, please make Cindy aware. Here's my plug again for videotaping for our education purposes. We need those group 1 and group 2 videos. We need pre-competitive videos. We have some of the new standard routines, but a lot of our material is the former standard routines. So we did use that to train our judges, but it would be wonderful if we had everything available as our new standard routines. And I would like to just thank those provinces or clubs that did submit videos this past year and a half. We made great use of them in the D1 course. So I want to thank you very much for sending those in. It's much appreciated. We also need SDP tests for the higher level badges and pins. So if you have anybody doing those higher level ones, make sure you grab those videos and send those in. Of course, we accept non-competition videos, but always remember to record in landscape.
Hey, Dana, can I just add something to that?
Mm-hmm.
We've just been through the D1 and we do have such a shortage. It doesn't have to be a lot. If you have a really good video of even one routine and it is in landscape, send it off because, you know, if everybody did that when they were working with one of their athletes, we'd be able to build our selection a great deal more. So keep that in mind when you're coaching. We'd really appreciate that.
Thanks, Kim. Music, just a reminder that CBTF provides our competition music free of charge to those that have a technical membership and a website account. So if you do have a technical membership and a website account, you should see it on that page I have listed there. So it's the CBTF music CD for technical members, and then you can download all the pieces there. If you need an account, send your email over to registration@cbtf.ca. So that email address request works for both the education portal and the website accounts. Those are 2 different accounts, 2 different logins. So you do need to request both if you're wishing both. And the website accounts are limited to those who have a T1 or a T2 technical association membership. Just looking ahead to our future groundwork seasons. So these are the years that we're going to be looking at these specific events. So next season, we're going to do some groundwork on twirl team, dance twirl team, and pom-pom team if necessary. 2026-27 will see us looking at medley, solo dance, solo, and the CPD program. And then 27-28 would take a look at our BA short program, as well as our BI and BA freestyle and pair. And of course, there may be new initiatives that we need to add to the chart as things evolve with IBTF. We just have to be flexible there. And then I'd like to plug some upcoming webinars just before we jump into Q&A if there's anything more. So as we mentioned earlier, there's those 3 annual judges updates. You just have to attend one of the 3, not all 3. Coming up Sunday, November 10th, we have judging multiple baton with Jenna. Sunday, November 17th, learning progressional contact material with Maureen. We had our progressional roles webinar last week, and we look forward to contact material in a few weeks in November there. In December, we're going to do an introduction to role models for our D1 judges. So anybody new to the judging program who just took D1, we're really encouraging them to look forward to the next step. So we're going to give them a little bit of advanced work on the role models that they'll see in D2. That'll be hosted by Kim. And then December 8th, we're going to do caption judging group events with Jenna. And then the 15th, we're going to take a look at the extra score sheet. We'll review that from IBTF, and then I'll give an update on the CBD program. So with that, do we have any other questions or answers? You can either type in the chat or you can raise your hand and Jeff will address you. No questions. I know it's a lot to take in and a lot to digest. I hope it's been informative. If you have any questions after the fact, I encourage you to reach out to your provincial technical chair. Oh, something popped up. Are the minimum ages going to be updated on the competition director's manual? Yes, Megan, eventually. we'll get there. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, and we have a hand up from Maureen.
Maureen, go ahead.
Hi, I'm just referring to Tanya's request about what to do about the Bs. Do you just enter them in A? I think you would just enter them in A in the proper age group, of course, and you don't have to do an A routine. You could have a simpler A routine growing from your B routine and still get the experience on the floor. So I think just to have the experience, they should do that. If they're keen on a strut, you can keep advancing them. There's very little difference between the A and B restrictions apparently, so that's why they dropped the B. So I don't think they'd be harmed by doing that at all. You wouldn't have to bump up the routines all that much, just for what they could handle, and I think they could still be competitive if they do it well.
Thanks, Maureen, for catching that. My chat box is very small because of all the windows I have open here, so I did miss that. I apologize, Tanya. And yes, Maureen, I agree. We don't have an advancement system within CBTF for extrat. We don't have, you have to start in C because we don't have those levels. So with the only 2 levels that are being offered, you would enter your athlete at the appropriate level that is available at that time. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Thanks, Maureen.
they just don't feel then that you have to double the content because now she's A. They would do just as well with what they can do well in A. Bump it up a little bit, but not extremely so that they're awkward or can't do it. I think it's just like every other event, the quality is more important than the what.
Great, thank you. Any other questions before we sign off? Okay, thanks everybody for attending. Good luck this season, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in the coming year at the qualifier and any other competitions, and then as we approach Canadians in Moncton. So have a good year.